Have you ever made a podcast and have it all go wrong? I just wanted to read out an old book of mine to the internet. XBook, the Xest of all books. It tells the story of an alien invasion that took place in 1918. If that wasn't fantastical enough, I then poured on heaps of surrealism through the eyes of one of the main characters. To counter the surrealism, I tried heavily to reground the book as the other main character, the leader of the invading alien forces, tells us of the history of his race and the reasons for this attack. It's a book of contrasts in many ways. Genre conventions clash in awkward ways. It's a book that's a product of its time, early 2000s, and it's a product of my age, my lack of life experience and knowledge of the world. But I always knew of the problems with the book. I didn't know there were going to be issues with reading it out and then analysing it all these many years later. Don't you just hate it when the author inserts himself into a story? A couple of times it's been done well, but the rest? I have not inserted myself in this book. No. The old neurons that wrote this book have inserted themselves into my analysis. Ginger Jeeves, one of the main characters, has now started appearing in my analysis. I think I have a clean record, but when I upload, there they are, trampling all over my words. But you're not here to listen to me complain. You're here for the book. General notes. And indeed, that's what it's going to be. Notes. Too much to say, but a long chapter, so little time for analysis. Plus, the fuckers keep interrupting me all the time. You will notice that parts of this have been re-recorded, where I've been talked over too much. If anything, it's a blessing, as the analysis was maybe too long and needed extra editing. We did it! We have entered into Act 2, the act of the story world. The act where everything turns upside down for our main character. The act where maybe action will begin happening. So, there's definitely going to be a change in pace, though it may take a couple of chapters. Lots of things happened in the first act. It's just all subtle and it's... I have to begin with that whole section about Freud. It's very over-explained. Quite happy with the first act. I go into way too much explanation. This is way out of tone and about worthy of a middle school essay. Well, I never said Ginger was educated, did I? Anyway, it really doesn't fit in with things, and this trumps all of William's exposition combined. I'd bring back the cutting room floor section for this. I'm not a fan of bringing back old sections. When I was writing this, yes, it technically... So yeah, I'd be happy to get rid of this. Not everybody knows everything, and some things do need to be explained. Doesn't exactly fit the tone. Speaking of tone, Ginger nicking the kit bag is out of character for him. At least I felt it was. I never went anywhere with this. I always debated getting rid of it, but I just liked seeing him do something so out of character. Could have been developed. It could have been cut. Neither of those things, especially not from someone else working in the forces. This chapter, however, really justifies why this story was set in 1918. I just don't understand what's going on. I don't remember definitely be in the trailer if it ever gets to be a film. This chapter really highlights the contrast between the worlds. High-tech alien machines versus simple human technology. The interior of the alien craft may not frazzle us today, but it would have been very alien, excuse the pun, to anyone from that time. I mean, just imagine.
Your media has ruined you.
Only 3 alien craft came down. That's all that would have really have been needed. After all, the aliens are that much more superior than our humans right now. There could have been a Hollywood-style show of force, but what would be the point when the humans are already falling like flies around the alien craft?
Imagination is nothing to people these days.
Because we have computer games. But we are back to Ginger and his machines. I've mentioned previously how Ginger just seems to gel with machinery, as if it's an extension of him. I don't think I ever intended this, as I didn't even have a driver's license at the time, nor was I really into tech in any way. But it does at least answer one question. Why Ginger? Well, out of the crowd of people around the crashed Smooth, it's Ginger who attempts to open it. And it's Ginger who seems to be the natural person to fly it. With Ginger being confronted by strange situations on a continual basis, does it not seem fair that he wouldn't be fazed by the alien tech? We finally get to see hero potential coming. This didn't happen. All of this flying around. I'm not out there. I'm here, in the blue room. Ginger is a totally different character. Other Easter eggs. Ginger barely uses the cliched 1910s parlance that we are used to. The men outside age. He is surrounded by technology that is beyond our means. Make of that what you will. Oh yeah, second act. This is where the world turns upside down for the protagonist. Well, let's put that on hold for another episode. The psychologist's chair. There's got to be only one thing that can be talked about here. I don't know where that came from. First rule of psychoanalysis in cinema is that you don't psychoanalyze the author. You can, but you don't. You analyze the art. But this chapter is essentially the reason I developed this segment and why it's pretty much the only surviving segment. I don't think it was ever a big thing. I think it was a logical extension of where the whole macho spiel was going. Plus, it just seemed funny to do that. But if I ever feel removed from who I was about half my life ago, this would be it. There's no way of going back, and I just have to...
Well, there's one way, and I'm right here.
It's just time to move on. We can't keep clinging to the past, can we?
All of it. It was a rejection of
it's just a relic. I'm not really sure how I feel about this anymore. Time has massively moved on since the writing of this. Without going into detail, so much more is in the social consciousness now. To me, it's really more about the blurring of reality and fiction, at least in Ginger's eyes. Does he actually do it? There's evidence to suggest that I am seeing living events that haven't happened to me. Why are they talking? But it's also about bringing in confusion to the reader as well. By now, we are familiar with Ginger, but it's not just him who enters the second act. It's us, the readers, as well. If things start changing for Ginger, can they not start changing for us as well? Need to get out of here. This blue room is just causing me all sorts about elephants being in the room. As a whole, I am happy with this chapter, and I think it kicks us off into the second act well. The Act 1 turning point refers to something completely different. But in terms of narrative quality, I feel that there really was a turning point after Act 1. But that's it for today. What have we got to look forward to next time?